Fabrizio Romano shares update on Real Madrid's move for Konate after Saliba's contract extension. The club now expects Liverpool to make a move for their £35 million player in the January transfer window. The journalist shares what he heard about Liverpool and Adam Wharton amid rumors. Hello, Reds fans. Let's check out the latest news from the world's biggest club. Liverpool risks losing Ibrahima Konate to Real Madrid after William Saliba's decision to commit to a long-term deal with Arsenal opened the door for the La Liga giants to explore alternative targets. Senior Give Me Sport reporter Fabrizio Romano revealed in his latest newsletter. In recent months, the Reds have already felt the impact of Real Madrid's interest when Trent Alexander-Arnold moved from Anfield to the Bernabeu in a £10 million deal before the end of his contract. Now, manager Arne Slot risks seeing another key player from his Premier League winning squad become a target for the Spanish club. According to Romano, Liverpool central defender Ibrahima Konate is on Real Madrid's priority list as they look to strengthen their defense. However, the interest has not progressed, especially after William Saliba opted to stay at Arsenal with a new contract. Romano highlighted in his newsletter, "Konate is on the list, for sure. Not just now, because he has been there for months. But nothing has been done with Konate, and nothing has been done with Saliba." Liverpool faces the risk of losing Konate for free as he is now in the final months of his contract. The player currently earns around £70,000 per week before bonuses, and starting in January, will have the option to sign a pre-contract with Real Madrid or another foreign club if he does not renew his deal at Anfield. The French international, described by many as sensational, has been central to Arne Slot's plans during the early stages of defending the Premier League title. Despite this, influential figures at Liverpool have not been able to convince him to commit to a long-term future with the club. Konate joined Liverpool in May 2021 in a £36 million transfer from Bundesliga side RB Leipzig. Since then, he has formed a strong partnership in central defense alongside captain Virgil van Dijk. However, Real Madrid's interest presents a genuine threat, and the defender may be tempted to take on a new challenge, leaving Anfield after 4 seasons of highs and lows. Sources at Crystal Palace have told TBR Football that the club expects Liverpool to make a concrete attempt to sign Marc Guehi in the January transfer window. This comes after the unexpected loss of Giovanni Leone, whose season was ended by a serious injury. Leone suffered an anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, rupture during the EFL Cup match against Southampton and is unlikely to play again this season, significantly reducing Liverpool's central defense options. The Merseyside club nearly secured Guehi in a £35 million deal on the final day of the previous window, but Crystal Palace rejected the offer. Despite this, the Reds have always planned to return to pursue the player in 2026. The English international has made it clear to Crystal Palace that he intends to leave the club in 2026, but it remains uncertain whether his departure will happen in January or in the summer. Club insiders, including chairman Steve Parish, are open to a sale, but as happened last summer when manager Oliver Glasner convinced Parish to keep the captain, the club does not want to lose Guehi this season. Chief correspondent Graham Bailey revealed exclusively to TBR Football that although widespread speculation suggested Liverpool could return for Guehi, Crystal Palace now expects a formal offer from Anfield in January. Bailey added, "Palace believes Liverpool will make a bid for Guehi in January. They said no on the final day, but the chance of them refusing again seems slim. I don't think it's possible to rule him out." Liverpool is aware that clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich are monitoring Guehi and may attempt to sign him in the future, but the club is confident he will choose Anfield. Following Leone's injury, Arne Slot currently has only 3 experienced central defenders, 2 of whom face uncertain futures. Ibrahima Konate, with his contract nearing its end, is also a priority for renewal before January. Joe Gomez, meanwhile, has underperformed in his first game of the season against Southampton. As the club's senior defender, he was overshadowed by Leone, and many expected him to leave Anfield this summer. Leone's injury further increases the need for defensive reinforcement, making the January window crucial for Liverpool. Slot acknowledges that Liverpool has few immediate options in defense, but stresses the need for two high-quality center backs per position. He confirmed that Leone will be out for the rest of the season due to his ACL injury, noting that despite the severity, the player is young and will have time to recover. With a weakened defense, Liverpool must act quickly in January, with Marc Guehi as the priority target to strengthen Anfield. Adam Wharton's performances have increasingly caught the attention of manager Arne Slot, and the midfielder has become one of the most talked-about names on Liverpool's radar. Wharton, who currently plays for Crystal Palace, has a gentleman's agreement with the London club that would allow him to leave Palace next summer. This means that if Liverpool decides to move, he could be a strategic and relatively affordable signing to strengthen the team's defensive midfield. The young midfielder was signed by Crystal Palace from Blackburn Rovers for around £18 million and has since developed significantly. His progress even earned him a call-up to the England national team, demonstrating maturity and the ability to perform at a high level. While other players, such as Carlos Baleba, are also being monitored, journalist Ben Jacobs emphasizes that Wharton is the player who truly deserves attention due to his informal agreement with Palace. Jacobs told the United Stand, "At the moment, I'm not aware that Liverpool is pushing for a more defensive midfielder. If the club were to add someone, it would probably be a more attacking midfielder. But names like Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba will be highly sought after." From what I understand, Wharton has a kind of gentleman's agreement in place, allowing him to leave Crystal Palace next summer. So, of course, he will be a player to watch. Liverpool's need for a defensive midfielder is clear. While Ryan Gravenberch is expected to take the number 6 role in the coming years, the club needs a reliable alternative for the Dutchman. Currently, Wataru Endo serves as the second option, but his future at the club is uncertain, and a contract renewal does not appear guaranteed. Without adequate reinforcements, the Reds could face gaps in midfield, relying solely on the development of youngsters like Stefan Bajcetic or James McConnell. Other players, such as Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, and Alexis McAllister, could potentially perform more defensive roles. But in the long term, a new defensive midfielder will be essential. Both Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba would be impressive options to strengthen the squad, but the main question is whether they would be willing to start as backups while adapting to Liverpool's style. If Wharton's gentleman's agreement with Steve Parish truly exists, there's a strong chance that Arne Slot could secure the 2 best Palace talents next summer. Meanwhile, Marc Guehi, another Liverpool target, remains a priority, and the trend suggests he will join the Reds at the end of the season if he maintains his interest in leaving Crystal Palace. In summary, Adam Wharton emerges as a strategic long-term asset for Liverpool, capable of reinforcing the defensive midfield and providing depth in the position, especially given the uncertainty surrounding other players and the club's need to maintain competitiveness across all fronts. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you next time.